I had a break in the action today, so I decided I'd follow up on our discussion about dating. The first thing you should know is that dating is like having a full time job or seeking a full time job. You need to be prepared and willing to invest the time and the energy to find what you're looking for. Women, men out there, if you're really interested in finding someone to have a committed, intimate relationship with, then you need to know what you're looking for, and that's why I had you do your grocery list. And you also have to be prepared to present yourself in a way that makes you worth choosing. That means have your act together. Don't step out trying to find someone if you don't have home taken care of first. That preferably means having a job, living independently, and able to take care of your own physically and emotionally. You also need to be prepared for any opportunity, which means don't run outside in your holy sweats and your baseball cap. Present yourself as someone who is always ready for the opportunity when it arises. I will say that dating is a process of gathering information, and you should be asking questions with the objective of getting to know someone better. You should be on both sides of the eyes. That means you should be observing as well as being observed. So if you're out with someone and they're not asking you questions trying to get to know you, and I'm not talking about a inquisition, but I am talking about some enthusiasm and some interest, then my guess is they're not interested in developing something meaningful or sharing their lives with you. Because if they were, they'd be trying to get to know you, trying to figure out whether or not you are the kind of person that they want to spend some time with. So let's say you're out, and this is your first date. One of the very first things you should be looking for is chemistry. Now, people always say, "What is that?" It's so hard to define. But I believe that it is a mutual attraction that is instantaneous. That means you're not waiting to date number two. That's why there's speed dating and dinner for eight and these kinds of activities that tell us if you're going to be excited by someone, it is going to happen very, very quickly. So there should be a mutual attraction. That's what chemistry is. It is an ease of communication. There's a physical attraction, but there's also something about how you feel when you're with them. It's fun and easy and light, and the words just keep flowing, and you could talk for hours. You know what I'm talking about. And if it's not there, things are kind of awkward, and you're checking your clock and hoping that your girlfriend will call because you told her to send you a getaway text if things weren't going appropriately. And fellas, you're looking for your first out as soon as you can get it. So if chemistry is present, then you're moving on towards connection. If chemistry isn't present, you should stop. Stop right there. Because it's not going to show up a week later or 2 weeks later or a month later. This is where you have to be real about what you're in and how you feel and what you want and what you don't want. And so the more efficient you are in the process, the better it is for you. So if there is no chemistry, I say keep it moving. If there is chemistry, then you have the opportunity to move towards connection. Connection is when you start to share things and, oh, I like him and I like her and we have some things in common and we enjoy each other's company and we're starting to connect to each other. Absolutely. After connection, there's commitment. And commitment requires a conscious decision that I am going to be loyal to this person, that this is a person I've decided that I want to really invest in and get to know. And some commitments are mutually exclusive. It's just going to be you and I, and we're not going to date anyone else. But some commitments means I'm just committed to giving you the opportunity to see where this can go. But it's not necessarily going to be exclusive. There needs to be a candid discussion about what you're involved in. Everybody needs to understand what's going on here. So no one is being misled and mistreated. because I believe that adults should have the opportunity to make informed decisions. That requires honesty. So I want to take a couple steps back, because one of the things I think that is very important when it comes to dating, and I said you have to ask yourself some questions, and you have to be willing to answer some questions. I consider dating to be like wine tasting. You know, you go out and you take a sip of wine, and sometimes, oh, you want to spit it out right away. Not even worth the swallow. But other times, you take your time, you enjoy it. It might be worth the full glass, maybe even another. And if you can get beyond the glass, then you ask yourself, do I want a bottle, a whole case, or maybe a cellar full, enough to last me an entire lifetime? These are the kind of questions that you should be trying to ask yourself when you're getting to know someone. Is this going to be a one date thing, a couple dates, just until we stop having fun? Or is this something that maybe could last forever? So keep this in mind as you're thinking about, being with someone and getting to know someone, figuring out, what's real versus what's ideal. So in the early stages of dating, everybody is on their very best behavior. You get all dressed up. You're careful about the things you say, things that you share and don't share. We usually don't bring our dirty laundry on the first date. And if they do, that's a sign. You should probably be running in the other direction. But we put on our best, right? We behave and we laugh at his jokes, and he opens the door, and we get to see everybody's strengths. This phase lasts about maybe 3 to 6 months. Everybody's on their best behavior, but that should evolve into something a bit more real. You start to wake up without your makeup, and oh, he might not run to the door as quickly and open it up for her, and not disagreeing so politely anymore. This is the stage, the real stage that usually shows its head about 3 to 6 months into the relationship, where you start to see the flaws. And you have to ask yourself, can you live with this person's flaws? Are these deal breakers, or are they tolerable? This is where you might want to go back to your grocery list and see, is this on my list of things that I can live with, or my must-haves, or absolutely not. I'm not going down that road with you. So you have to decide. Some things, they're not that big a deal. She's chronically late. He's a pile maker. But there are other things that you may not want to live with. Alcoholism, bad credit, baby mama drama. You have to ask yourself, are these flaws things that I can live with? Now, oftentimes people see the red flags, they see the flaws, and they want to ignore them, like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. This is deception. You are deceiving yourself and not giving yourself the opportunity to make an informed decision. Be honest. Be honest with the person that you're getting to know, but most importantly, be honest with yourself so that you can ensure that you find someone who can give you what you need, someone who can help you create your own recipe for ecstasy. So if you've gotten to a place where you see those flaws, if it's 6 months in and it's hard to think about the separation, grief might be hard for you, I'm saying don't waste time, because it only gets worse. Don't hold on to it well after the expiration date. It is spoiled. You must throw it out, or it will ruin your recipe for ecstasy. This requires grieving. Be sad about it, but you shouldn't be that sad. It's been 3 months, it's been 6 months, and I know people can get involved and invested pretty quickly. Whatever the timeline, the same process holds true. Grieving. Allow yourself to be sad, and allow yourself to be hopeful about the potential for the future. Move on. There will be someone else that you will get to choose, have chemistry with, connect with, and commit with down the road. But you will disrupt that process if you hold on to something long past its expiration date. Now, I'm a firm believer that something exciting and new is very helpful in the process of getting over. I used to say back in the day, there is nothing like new dick when you get your heart broke. Something new, something exciting, something to help it, get the juices flowing and get you excited about what's out there. But be mindful. That rebound phase you should not be looking for. Mr. Right, you should not be looking for the girl of your dreams, not in the rebound phase. If you're going to use excitement as a way to distract and comfort, don't get caught up and think this is your next relationship, because the rebound should not be your next relationship. Use it for what it is. Speaking about rebounds, I want to talk a little bit about the game, because we all know that not everyone is open and honest when they're out there dating. Some people, they play the game. They want to convince you that they're into you, and this is males and females alike. They want to lie and tell you what you want to hear and get from you whatever they're seeking. For some, it's physical gratification. For others, it's companionship. But you have to be skillful at deciphering what's real and what's not. And hopefully, you don't run into too many deceivers while you're out there trying to create your recipe for ecstasy. I identified some roles in the game when I was out there. It's been a long time since I've been out there. I'm retired now. I consider myself a coach. But there are some people still out there. So there's the person who has their A game, and I consider that the at-home piece. It's the one that you've decided, their choice. USA choice. You want them to stay close to you, so you're not sharing them. That's the people in the A game. People in the B game, well, they're the best that they can be. You've already benchmarked them. They're going to do their job and do it well, whatever that is, whether it's having good sex, fun with each other, companionship. They're going to be the best that they can be when they're with you, and if they're not, then you're going to set them on the bench. Then there are those people who play the C role in the game, and that's cookies or cash. That's all you're interested in. Men often are looking for cookie, and women can very often look for cash. So be mindful, because people out there playing the game, they will be looking for these things, and they might not tell you up front that that's all you can be, is their cookies or their cash. And then there's that D role in the game, and that's the don't need you. You have not met my needs in any kind of way, so the buck stops here. This is where I get off. Be prepared, because you might be put into one of these spots when you're out there dating. People might benchmark you and put you in the A game, the at-home ass is really what I call it. The B game, do the best you can do or get on the bench. You're only there for cookies or cash. Or D, I don't need you and I'm putting you on the curb. So be honest. Be honest with yourself and be honest with the person that you're out there dating. It's work dating. It's like a full-time job. I mean, you got to invest time, you got to invest energy, got to invest money, because it is costly as well. That's why I say you shouldn't be out there dating if you don't have some financial security about you. And that's males and females alike, but mostly I'm talking to the males here. You can't take a woman out and wine her and dine her if you can't pay your cell phone bill. But I also believe that women have to have acquired a certain level of security themselves so that they're not looking for this in a partner. It's one thing to want a man who is financially stable. It's another thing to be looking to be taken care of. If you are an adult, you should be wholly capable of taking care of yourself. So those are the most important things that I wanted to share with you today about dating. And I will continue this discussion. Give me a month or so. Once you have found someone and you've decided to commit, some of the obstacles that you might encounter, need to be prepared to resolve conflict and forgive and continue to effectively communicate if you're going to plan a life with this person that you have been able to find uh, through the dating process. But for those of you who are still out there looking, seeking, I say remain hopeful. I was out there in the game. I know it is difficult, but if you are persistent, if you are hopeful, and if you are honest, honest with yourself and the other person, you are able to reach your goals. You'll get there. Just keep